Welcome your next storyteller to the stage, Dino, Sossi.
I could hear my dad yelling. He was looking for his favorite thing. My dad had a stressful job, and at the end of a long day, he wanted a couple of things. He liked his big bottle of red wine, his television tuned to ABC World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, and his beloved yellow tub. At the end of a long day of work, he'd fill it with hot water and salt, put his feet in it, and just relax. But that day, I had the tub. You see, I was a big boy. I had my first summer job, so I was really excited. I've been on my feet all day, so I'm like, I'm gonna put my feet in the tub. My dad found me, and he celebrated the fact that I was a big boy, but he was pretty adamant about the fact that he was a bigger boy, a much bigger boy, a much, much bigger boy, and he ended up with the tub. My job was at a cornfield, so every morning I get up before dawn, and I take my little bike and I bicycle through my little hometown, and I go to the local technical school where I'd board a bus to a place called Chatham. And Chatham is as distant and remote as it sounds. As the sun came up, I'd see field upon field, row upon row of beautiful corn. It was really breathtaking. The stalks were a dark, rich green. The corn itself was a beautiful golden yellow. It was really a sight to behold. And when I'd enter the field, I'd feel enveloped by nature, and it was really nice. I could lose myself in my imagination. It was beautiful. One fateful day, I bicycled home. I opened the rec room door, and I could feel the tension just seeping out. I looked at my mom, and she was distraught. And she said, "Dino, we need to go to the hospital. My father had collapsed." So while I was toiling away in the field, my dad was mowing the lawn for his hairstyling salon. He was a little bit overweight, he drank a bit too much and smoked a bit too much, and he just fell on the lawnmower. We went to the hospital, and I saw things I'd never wanted to see before. He was flat on his back, comatose, shallow breathing. He had needles in his arms and tubes in his nose. And my sister Gina was holding his hand. Gina was recently pregnant and married, and it was like she was trying to wheel him back from unconsciousness. But unfortunately, he passed away. He never did see the birth of his first granddaughter. A couple of days later, we went to St. Peter's Church, and it was really beautiful. There was a really nice, rich sunlight coming in through the windows. And I was sitting there with my mom in the front pew, and I looked over at her, and her face was moist. And she was crying, but not really crying. It was like she was trying to hold back her tears. She was trying to choke them back. She knew that all the kids in our family were really scared, and she didn't want us to be any more frightened, so she just tried her best. She just lost her best friend, the love of her life, and she was still thinking about just about us. But her personal troubles turned into financial. We had 7 kids in our family, 7 little mouths to feed, 7 kids to clothe and to reclothe. And she hadn't worked outside the house for a long, long time. Money came in from my uncle, money came in from different relatives. My dad's barbershop still had money we got from that. And then my mom went through the long and painful process of selling everything my dad had acquired over the course of his business life. It was difficult, but we made it through to Christmas, and we were really happy we had survived together, so it was nice. But I remember looking around the house, and I looked, the house is still the same, my siblings were still the same, my mom was still the same, but something was missing. Winter yielded to spring, spring blossomed into summer, and I returned to those fateful fields. But it was no longer a field of wonder, no longer a field of dreams. It was just a part-time job to make money to help us survive. Most days I'd return home and I'd walk kind of gingerly and quietly by my dad's house his room, because I was always, I just wanted him to be back. One day, it rained torrentially, my feet got really muddy, and I thought, I need to go into his room. So I opened the door, stale air wafted out. I walked in, and his television was blank and conspicuously silent. His wine bottles were dusty due to disuse. I continued to walk around. I opened his bathroom door, and there it was. It was his beloved yellow tub. I held it in my hands, and I was thinking about the last time when I saw it, and I had a picture in my mind. It was a beautiful golden yellow. It was a perfect circle, smooth and cool to the touch. But it had been left on a radiator, and it was in the direct sun, and it became pitted and cracked and mottled. It was pale, colorless, and lifeless. As I held that tub, it marked the end of the worst year of my life, and more importantly, the end of my childhood.